Hey guys, a lot of you have been asking about me doing another run of limited edition t-shirts, but the good news is we have listened and we are doing it. Check this out. This is the Smoking Tire vintage t-shirt. Comes in black, gray, or blue. And here's the kicker. I'm only selling it for 10 days. If you want one, you gotta buy it now. The sale ends on August 19th. And you buy one by going to the link in this video or clicking the annotation, but for 10 days only, and that's it. They're good material, they're a reasonable price, and it's the classic Smoking Tire logo in a cool new vintage look. Check it out. Morning everybody, welcome to Big Tujunga Canyon. Great day for a drive, roads are pretty quiet today. This should be interesting. I haven't ever driven one of these on video before, and I haven't driven one at all in about 6-7 years, easy. This is Greg, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing your CLK63 Black Series.
You got it.
Tell me a little bit about your car.
I was in the market. I was searching for this car for a long time. Saw this car. It was at the dealer for a while. Wasn't being sold.
Yeah.
I purchased it about a year and a half ago. It had 14,000 miles on it.
Very low mile car, only 16,000 now. So I take it not your everyday car.
Not my everyday car.
And you've left it stock.
I've left it bone stock. I want to keep it as stock as possible.
Well, that's good. Let's
just to keep the market value as high
collector
as
car.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, I definitely would like to see what this thing is like with crazy modified stuff on it, but you know, this thing is pretty much a brand new car. So what year is it? Like 08?
2008.
2008. Yeah. So this should be really interesting to see what it's like. Oh, so I'm in comfort mode.
Yeah,
how do I go to let's go to sport. Here we go.
There you go.
Sport
manual.
Okay, so 6.2 liter V8, 507 horsepower, very Formula One steering wheel, and these seats are amazing. I'm being given like a nice warm hug right now. My friends at BBI Autosport have one of these, and they put straight pipes on. It was the most obnoxiously loud car I've ever heard, and these things, they're cool looking, aren't they?
Very cool looking. Not a lot of people don't know. People don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is until you do, and when you do, you're like, oh yes. The steering is like right. It's so the littlest movements translate into a lot of direction change. And this is a 5-speed auto, right? Or is it 6?
7-speed auto. It's the first generation.
This is the first car that had the 7-speed, right?
Yes.
Oh, listen to that. That's fantastic. This thing, one of these was Jeremy Clarkson's daily driver for a while. The only thing that it feels nice and tight in here. It still looks great. The only thing that kind of dates it is the speed of the downshifts, huh?
Yes, it's very squashy. It's very laggy.
Yeah. And that was sort of Mercedes' gearbox Achilles heel until recently. Yeah. They've started to figure it out. Oh, that sounds awesome. Rumblings coming off compression. Oh, that's great.
It's a dream to drive.
It really does drive. It drives very nice. It rides well.
It's stiff, but it's not like
it's not punishing.
Track car or like total like race car stiff.
No, it's really good. It absorbs these bumps really well, but it still gives you that nice firm feeling. I can see why you like it.
It's just raw power.
It is.
All the time. Naturally aspirated V8.
Such little steering inputs really translates to a lot of change in direction. You probably hardly ever have to turn the wheel more than 90 degrees.
No,
these things, like, they came out, and then the first couple of years they dipped a huge dip in value, and now they're creeping.
Slowly
They're really
creeping up in value.
we're right at that precipice. What do you think? What is one of these today? About 65, 70 grand? Is that about right?
That was the range when I was in the market last year. But now it's slowly creeping up. It's in the 75 to the 90.
Really?
Value.
Well, if you wanted something analog that isn't a 911, you know, and you could drive a bit and collect and look at, like, it's just so tough looking. We never got the CLK DTM in America, but have you seen one of those things?
Yeah, of course.
They're beasties, aren't they?
5.5 liter.
There was a guy who brought one of those on the Bull Run rally, and I was so jealous of him. And it was the meanest sounding car. It was a shame we never got those, but
This is the first Black Series that made it to America.
yeah.
The first Black Series ever was the SLK, but we never got to see it here in the States.
I don't even recall that. I guess I missed that one entirely. Hello, how you doing there, buddy? The turn-in is just super sharp,
Very reactive.
Yeah.
The steering is very reactive.
Have you ever been on a track or anything with this?
No, actually, this is the second time I'm on this Canyon. I haven't taken the car to the track yet. I just don't have the time.
Hard-working people, I understand. You gotta earn the money for one of these. It doesn't just come to you. Listen to that, though.
Third gear is this the only gear you need to be on.
You can just leave it in third the whole time.
Third, it's going to take you everywhere you want.
Such a wide power band. I love this thing.
It's useless downshifting to second on these turns.
I can see why people do love these, and it totally makes sense. It's a shame that the gearbox isn't just a hair quicker, you know, because that would really take it to the next level. But it still feels new, with the exception of that. And the steering is really good. The brakes are really good. Properly quick.
After I purchased the vehicle, I took it to an independent Mercedes mechanic outside of the Mercedes dealer. Not that I don't trust the Mercedes dealer. I just had the car, just new oil, new filters, rear differential service, because the differential is an industrial differential in the back. It has its own intercooler.
Oh, okay,
That's what the rear diffuser is for. You saw the slits.
Yeah. So other than, I mean, you've only put 2,500 miles on it in the last 2 years, but has it worked properly the whole time? Is it anything broken on you?
Nothing. I've had a small issue with the power steering box, but it's like the Achilles heel, like you said, for this vehicle also. It wasn't the first time that I heard it, that the power steering box starts leaking a little bit. But yeah, that was the only issue I had, and then I had some dinosaur from AMG rebuilt the power steering box, so now it's Mercedes certified.
A dinosaur from AMG?
Some old dinosaur from
some
AMG.
guy who's been there for 100 years?
Been there for ages, and he knows AMGs very well.
Oh my God, you're right. The turning radius is terrible.
It's horrible.
There's like no turns lock to lock. That's crazy. That's pretty bad.
That was the only small issue I had with the vehicle, but other than that, nothing.
I'm gonna actually put it in auto for a second, see how it behaves as an auto. Let's go to sport.
Sport mode.
Yeah, let's see what it does as an auto. The one thing, especially the 3.2 downshift, it really has kind of an abrupt drag on the chassis. Where I'd imagine if you're actually on a track and really going at it, it could disrupt the chassis under braking. But I'm with you on that. Just leave it in third thing.
Third and fourth are the best gears on this vehicle.
Okay, so automatic works, but I'm over it.
It gets boring. Automatics, it's cool if you're like drag racing.
Yeah.
I haven't drag raced, so I don't.
There's what's that company? Weisstech down in Orange County that has like a 9-second supercharged Black Series. It's crazy.
I think it's the fastest CLK in the world.
Oh, so actually, I think it probably is. You know, now that I think about it, the move might be to not downshift under braking. It might be to downshift as you're accelerating out of the corner, that may upset the chassis less, because it downshifts really smooth under power. This thing is sweet. This is going to be a really neat collector car over the next 10 years, because it still feels modern enough that you can get out and have a drive in it and not feel like you're in an old car.
It's not the fastest car out there on the streets,
but it's got a great attitude.
It's got that grunt, it's got that power to it.
It's not like it's not fast. I mean, if you need the fastest car on the street, you just go buy the newest AMG. But this is the connoisseur's choice. It's so nice. This is like, turning radius aside, this is the best steering I've had in a Mercedes since the AMG GT, I think. Yeah, really good power. Really good brakes, too. No squeaks, rattles, you're good. What a great car. This is, I like to think of used cars as like dollars versus driving experience. Like a 1973 911 to me isn't $100,000 driving experience. So that value couldn't stay there forever, but this is absolutely a $75,000 driving experience for sure. For sure. I'd love to do like a test between this and like a 997 GT3. I bet it'd be great.
I actually had a 997 GT3.
Oh, really?
Prior to this vehicle.
And you went to this. Okay, yeah. So you tell me, how do you think this compares to the GT3?
The GT3 is more nimble.
Yeah.
It's like a ballerina.
Yeah.
It's very nimble and it's as precise as this vehicle, as opposed to this one. This was like, it's just on steroids and just like, let's go out. Let's go.
So do you miss the 911 now that you have this? Or are you fully satisfied?
I miss the manual transmission, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Very precise shifting also on the 911.
GT3s have the best shifters. That is the GT3 has the perfect shifter. By the way, that was really quick. that was a quick a big number there. It's just got so much power.
It hits the 100-mile-per-hour range.
Oh man!
In seconds.
We got to take this thing out to like Nevada. Really see. We need some room to run it.
I've always wanted to do the no-fly zone.
Yeah, you should.
I just don't. Every time they set up one,
you got a job.
I got something to do.
Yeah, I feel you. But you should find the time to take this to a runway, because I bet it'd be a lot of fun. What a cool car. Clarkson said his felt too stiff, but this doesn't feel too stiff for me. This feels nice. Although, to the man's credit, he did say that he had somebody soften his suspension and it was 2 seconds faster around their track, which seems interesting. Mercedes has a habit of over stiffening cars, especially their newest stuff. Like the newest Mercedes, Sport Plus mode is like unbearable.
Yes.
And I can go quicker in regular Sport than I can in Sport Plus because it's got some give. And maybe, I don't know, maybe for the time period this felt too stiff, but by 2015 or 2016 Mercedes standards, this feels about right.
The car is almost 10 years old.
It does not feel it at all. Really, really good car. I can see why these things are appreciating in value. They must have dipped down to a certain point where the driving experience felt more expensive than the price tag, and then people started to be like, no, you wait.
Once you turn off traction, then it becomes something very uncontrollable.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to drive a vehicle,
it becomes slightly drifty.
It slides all over the place.
Well, that could be fun too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind entirely drifting this. Although we talk about turning radius like it doesn't matter. Turning radius directly correlates to how much angle you can get in a drift. So if you have a crappy turning radius, you're not going to be able to hold a whole lot of angle for any kind of period of time. You'll run out of steering lock. And so if you have a car that's super tail happy, but also has no angle, that's where you have a car that becomes really tough to drive. you know, a professional drift car is super tail happy, but because you have, you know, 60 degrees of steering angle, you can recover from almost anything. Yes. So you combine tail happiness with not much turning radius, and you end up with a tricky car to drive. But this thing is magnificent, and I think from a collector perspective, really well bought. It's the right color. It's absolutely pristine everywhere, and it drives beautifully. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, man. I really appreciate this opportunity, because it's such a neat car that will never be in Mercedes press fleet ever again. And thank you so much for bringing it down. It was great. And thank you, of course, for watching.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.